Hello, I'm Reverend Mark William Ennis, also known as Pastor Mark. I'm here with our next Bible story of Joseph, son of Jacob. Now, remember what happened last time? Joseph did a little deception and planted his silver cup inside Benjamin's feed bag. And he got all the brothers back there, and they were very, very frightened. And Joseph finally stopped playing with them. He was tweaking them along. And they were afraid when he revealed himself as Joseph, the long lost brother that they had sold into slavery. And they didn't know what was going to happen next. They were mean. Was he going to treat them meanly? Some of them had thought about killing him. Would they be killed? They didn't know what was going to happen next. Here they were, completely powerless in front of the guy that they had done so much harm to. And Joseph said, "Come here. You're my family. It is true you did me wrong, but you know what? God maneuvered things. God twisted things so that I happened to be here at the right time, at the right place to help you. There's going to be a 7-year famine. It's only 2 years old. There's going to be 5 more years of famine. And instead of being mean to you and violent to you, I'm going to be kind to you and our father, Jacob. Would you be so gracious when someone's done you wrong and they are now in your power? Would you treat them kindly? When someone has done you wrong, would you get revenge? That's how people in the world think. People who don't know God, don't honor God, but people who walk with God show graciousness, kindness. They show patience. And the dream that God had given Joseph, that someday his brothers would be bowing down to him. Well, guess what? It came true. You can't thwart God's plans. We can make life difficult for ourselves when we fight against God. It doesn't excuse bad behavior, but God has a way of weaving and twisting and making everything come out toward his will. And so it is. Now, when these brothers expected violence in return for violence, they don't get it. When they expect revenge, they get graciousness. And Joseph says to his brothers, "Go back home. Fetch your father Jacob, and you and your families and Dad Jacob, bring them all down here. I'm going to give you a place to settle here in Egypt so I can watch over you. God's will has been achieved. So go home." And Pharaoh, out of respect for Joseph and all he had done, he said, "Wow, your brothers are coming. That's great." And Pharaoh sent wagons. And Pharaoh sent animals to pull the wagons. And he said, "Bring your whole family down here." And so it was that all the brothers of Joseph went back home with wagons, with animals to pull the wagons. And they said to their father Jacob, "Dad, Remember, we thought Joseph was dead? He's not. He's the man in Egypt who's in power, who's helped us, given us free food. And he invites us all to live in the land of Egypt. Joseph was magnanimous in treating his brothers. And now Jacob was overwhelmed with joy. For years, he thought his favorite son was dead. And he finds out he's not only alive, but he's also a powerful person who has kept he and his other sons and their families all alive. And Jacob said, I am an old man. It's going to be a hard journey for me, but I'm going to go. I must see my son Joseph again. And so Jacob packed up his household and the households of all his sons, and they started a trip down to Egypt. He wants to see Joseph once more at least before he dies, because he knows he's old. He doesn't have that many years left. He doesn't know when he'll die. None of us really do. But he knows it's not too far off. And so Joseph's brothers, even though they did bad stuff, it put Joseph in a position to help them. And now they're all going to live in the land of Egypt. And they started backing up. You know, this reminds me of my life right now. I no longer pastor a church. I'm now a hospice chaplain. And I'm packing up this house that you see because I'll be moving somewhere else. So let's walk with God. We trust him. He'll bring us to a good end. Doesn't excuse bad behavior, folks. If we act badly, it'll come back and bite us. But trust God in all your journeys. And if we love God, God will work all things for good on our behalf. Walk with God today and every day. Well, this is Reverend Mark William Ennis, also known as Pastor Mark, thanking you for watching this Bible story, inviting you back next week, and asking a favor. Please like, share, comment, invite others to see these Bible stories. God bless you today, this week, and every day to come. And asking you always, walk with God. Do the right thing.